Do we know if Chris is coming?
Changed.
What? Do we know if Chris is
We
coming?
can ask. I'm not sure. I thought he accepted.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, you got 2 minutes?
yeah.
Well, I can go ahead and print up.
On
Hmm.
landscaping.
You want me to go do it?
No, I'll do it.
Great.
Great.
What happens, a lot of these landscapes, if they're not maintained, they just release.
Is there a change in that?
Trees are.
In terms of who goes first, or keeping it to these?
We're keeping it
Is
to
that-
here, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for the following meeting, one of the agenda people dropped off today. We got an email. So the last one, the finial and parquet is not happening. But we see the appeal and
Hey, Chris, how you?
the things on for the following.
That's good. I feel bad for the ice cream shop.
Just gotta wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a motion to move them up.
Yeah, just switch them around. I think Tim said the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. You've seen changes to the maps.
I wasn't here, so yeah.
Start the recording already?
Recording in progress.
Okay, so we're gonna call the meeting to order. First up is approval of the minutes for April 2nd.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of April 2nd.
Second. All in favor?
I abstain.
So first up, we have Snowden LLC, 575 Depot Street. The applicant is requesting to demolish the existing building on the property and construct a new Valvoline instant oil change on the property. There, some, okay. You want to walk us through the plans and the concept?
Does that include the Firefly or the Firefly?
Yeah, they're turning it all down.
Firefly's going.
Turning it all down.
Good evening, Steve Wilson with Bowler Engineering on behalf of the applicant. Yeah, our first presentation to you. Look forward to working with the board. Been a few years since I was here. I think it was last during COVID. We did the McDonald's down the street from us, a renovation occurred down there. So thank you again for having us on the agenda. Could you maybe go to the site plan first? Maybe I'll start with the site and so as was mentioned, we're looking to put a Valvoline service center here. It's about a 2,100 square foot building, 3 bays. If you know the site now, Depot Street, Highland Avenue here. Our intent is we lay it out now. We're gonna kind of maintain the existing 2 driveways on Depot Street as is, along with the one out back of Highland. And so generally how this site layout would work is you'd be able to come in off of Depot and or Highland. You circulate around the back of the site where you have some stacking here, and then the cars enter the Valvoline bays. We haven't been to a Valvoline, you maybe do it different than some other places where you stay in your car during service, you can get out. And, you know, oil changes, radiator changes, not repairs, it's just service. Cars would, you know, pay while they sit in the car and then move out. And they're able to exit the site.
Thank you.
So, it's been a transformation for the site, no doubt about it. There's a substantial increase in green space on the site as we go from. I think there's about 1,200 square feet of green space on the site now, and up to about 15,000 square feet on a third. Make sure I got my numbers right here. It's about a 3/4 acre site. So it'll be a substantial increase in green space. Site plans are preliminary. This is our first, obviously, presentation. We're at the DRB later tonight. We're kind of here to hear from you as much as you might want to hear from us. You know, we got a lot of work in front of us, landscaping plans and lightings and full architectural plans. But kind of want to get your feedback on the site and the building as we start this process so that we're more informed and can get a good application in front of you. So I don't know if you want to talk to the site or we can jump to the elevations, preliminary elevations that we include with the application thing. So this would be the view you would see from Depot Street, the 3 bays with this gable here, architectural detail, kind of given that keeping with the residential scale and line with that residential historic character of the corridor. Just to give you some scale here, let me just make sure I got my numbers right. So this is about 29 feet to the top of the gable, and this is about 24 feet up here. Again, our architect tried to did an initial dive on the architecture, the design guidelines you have. You know, intended as clapboard siding, this barn red with stone wainscoting along the bottom to try to again capture the character that we see along that Depot Street corridor. So I don't know how much you want to get into the details of operation. I know you're kind of understanding DAC's role. You're kind of into what the site's going to look like, so to speak. Is that really their focus? So we're here to listen, whatever comments you have, questions, so that, like I said,
My first question, I guess, is, I believe, is the Firefly not a historical building? The Manchester Historical Society literally posted about it just 2 weeks ago, about the importance of this building in the depot and history and all that. So I find it interesting that you want to tear it down.
I think Mr. Badger can speak to the significance of that, if you're ready for that.
Wind me up. The building that's the Firefly now was originally Fullerton's store. And it's the third commercial building in the area that's the depot. The station was the first. Fullerton was a marble.
I'm not sure who this is.
I'm sorry.
I'm Bill Badger.
He's the chairman of the historical.
Oh,
I'm not chair, I'm just on it. And Fullerton moved to town, started a marble business. His marble business is now the headquarters of RK Miles. He looked around the depot and said, this area is, with the railroad, this area is going to be important. It ought to have a store. So he built a store. I don't know if,
Yeah.
Peter, if you sent emails around.
The emails are circulating.
So there are pictures of it. It is pretty much unchanged from 1870.
Could you give us like an abbreviated version of it and then
I don't want to
continue on?
hear all
with this? We can jump back into the more deep dive on it.
It was a store, I think, into the 1950s,
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
and it became a bar, restaurant. And it's largely unchanged from what it once was. And it's, the third commercial building in the depot. It's significantly important. It was also, if anyone cares, kind of the core of the Jewish community in Manchester, the first storekeeper, and then he brought his friends, and that's where the community grew up. But I don't think it ought to be torn down. I think it was part of our history. If we're trying to make this look like New Jersey, here you go. I think this idea is brilliant because people coming off the new highway, coming in, we're going to see this and go, oh, we're back in New Jersey. Let's get out of here. I'll be brief.
With that being said, was there plans for this building? Or, I mean, just,
There aren't plans for the building, no, that was part of the whole.
well, why don't you continue on?
I think that was kind of it. I was kind of,
Sean Dillon has his hand raised. I don't
kind
know.
of a high level overview of what we're intending and like you said,
One of your guys?
Hi, it's Sean here. I got something in the mail. I live on Elm Street and I don't really know what this process is, but I want to make sure it's known that I object to this proposal. Aside from what we just heard about the historical nature of the fly, I don't want increased traffic on Highland, people waiting in their cars for oil changes or whatever else is going on. It's going to be, aside from traffic and aesthetics, it's just completely unappealing.
Thank you.
There's barely enough Highland can barely handle the traffic now. It's so narrow.
It's probably more of a conversation for later on at 7:30, the DRB meeting. If you have comments relative to aesthetics of what was presented, we're open to entertain that.
Well, I find the proposed aesthetics objectionable.
Thank you.
Is this public comment?
Well, go ahead.
Public comment? Yeah.
Paul Carocchio, I own 10 properties on Highland and wanted to express a concern that I've expressed for the last decade, which is that the Highland Avenue doesn't have a town highway specification, doesn't meet the specification as we understand it, and primarily because of Firefly Building. And not that I disagree with Mr. Badger, but if this project were to go forward from an aesthetic perspective, I think that this is a great opportunity if the building does get torn down to widen the street for public safety. And I don't know how many people have actually driven down Highland, but probably most of us. Now it's a ways shortcut through town. And the right turn is easier than the left turn, but they're both pretty difficult out of the road. So I just want to make a comment, and I'll be here at 7:30 as well, to suggest that the site plan may be moved towards the west to accommodate.
Thank you.
And then just from a zoning, I know this isn't zoning, but great topic in town, right? The side street exit for a drive-through. But Highland would become the street, right, for the side street exit if this were to comply with zoning. So now we have traffic that dumps onto Highland that is already fairly dangerous in that 300-foot section of Highland. Just recommend that you consider that. And I don't know if that's aesthetic, but it's probably more safety. Hate to see the building go away, but honestly, it looks like in about a year, it's gonna fall down, so. Those are my two comments, but I'll be back at 7:30.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think that those are probably best directed at DRB.
Yeah, I figured.
Appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate what Bill said about the history of the building, and I think we have to be kind of considerate about, keeping the history of the town and not, just sterilizing it by all of our buildings. I mean, years ago, I was on the planning board. They wanted to tear down the Walker Building, which is the one, I don't know what's in there now. I think an architect's in there right now. It's that brick one right on the corner of Center Hill. Not real nice one. There's Toomey and then there's that brick building. And they were gonna tear that down to build an outlet center. And a few of us were opposed to it. And they even said, well, we'll move it out of town. And we're like, well, what's the value of that? I mean, the value is that it's part of the town. It's in the town, not out in the woods somewhere. So, and now since the Walker Building's been restored, it's one of the most beautiful buildings in town.
Let's focus back on, I think, the design component to the building. I mean, DRB is gonna have their opportunity to address, I think, these other issues, and they're important and credible, and they're gonna get its due deserve here at 7:30. But let's try to stay with the design that's proposed here and see if there are questions centered around the design and anything else. I mean, if this thing were to move forward, you got, like you said, this is all preliminary, there's many hurdles. I mean, is there thought, I mean, I think Paul brought up a great point. Is there consideration perhaps to move the building and
No.
right down to increase that entire, as much as you can, of Highland Avenue?
You mean widening? I wasn't sure what you meant, like.
So if you shifted the building over, and I'm assuming you would almost have to forfeit part of the land to the town.
There's kind of a small sidewalk there
Oh, I
that
see.
you sort of fall into.
Yeah, widening Highland is what they're referring to.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's very narrow at the end.
No.
oh, yeah, I just
Yeah.
broke down, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to be clear too, Highland, is it Highland would be very secondary. One, it would be hardly ever used for exiting traffic because traffic is going to be exiting out the front door, out the front of the building. And then as a access to it, I guess you'd have to be familiar with the area to know use that's a potential access point when you have this one right on the main street. So it'd probably be low use for sure, but I understand what you're saying. It's a narrow street for sure.
Something to be considered.
Right, yeah.
That's the point.
No access is.
And is, I mean, I appreciate you don't have a landscape plan put together yet. And if I understood it, you were increasing from about 1,200 to 15,000 to green space?
That's right. Right. There's not a lot of green space on there now.
No, I understand. So there's an opportunity for quite a few. I mean, I would expect the landscape plan to be pretty extensive with that being the case.
Yeah, I think Peter's always mentioned there'd be some thought of enhancing the street trees along along Depot Street to kind of give that tree line look. Sure, we can look at that. And yeah, we can look for opportunities for, buffering along either side of the site as well as we move through that process for sure.
And as it relates to the building itself, I mean, what's the proposed material of the siding? I mean, have you gotten that far or not really?
We've gotten it. I mean, I would assume it's gonna be preferably like a harder board siding or something like that, that's gonna have some real durability to it. That would be preferred. But the intent was to kind of give it that clapboard look, but we're still.
And the overhead doors, any consideration to eliminating the glass front?
Would you flip to the, thank you. Well, an important part of the business of Valvoline is for the customer, the drive-by customer to see how busy the bays are, and that does drive a lot of the decision whether to stop or not. So kind of eliminating that glass, we may be able to reduce it, but having that visibility into the bays is pretty critical to Valvoline's operation. So I guess it's something we'll look at, but I just want the board to understand, Valvoline knows people drive by a lot of times their customers, it's an impulse stop. Oh, the bays are free. I'm going to stop and get my oil changed. And having that visibility with understanding if there's cars in those bays or not is very important to the business. So we can see what we can do.
And is there a need for 3 bays?
Yes, because typically, especially during inspection time, one of the bays usually gets wrapped up and is busy doing inspections on Saturdays. 3 bays, 2 bays is just not enough for that kind of thing on those busy days. And it just creates a queuing problem and stacking behind the building that they found that 3 bays is kind of the best balance between how long a customer waits. Again, you're trying to provide a good customer experience. You don't want them to delay long. And that 3 bays usually works the best.
Questions on the building?
No, I mean, as far as outside of the historic piece, I mean, I think it's a nice, clean look you've developed there. I mean, if you look around town, some of the newer buildings that were built that are good, it's kind of like along that line. I mean, you could have, I don't want to design it, I'm just saying, but you could have a nice big cupola above and break the mass up on top.
You might get out here around a little bit.
Yeah, but just going back to, we were talking about the landscaping. We had 1130 here for 35 years ago. They widened 1130 and turned it into a virtual highway. And we waited 25 years to put trees, to make it more pedestrian friendly and, widen certain spots, put a bike lane, stuff like that. So I would be very concerned with having some major trees along the front, along the road to kind of contribute to the aesthetic of what we've worked to have, that's what I'm saying.
You say concern, you would want that.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. No, I mean, I'd want to see some trees along the front.
Gotcha.
Well, I guess aesthetically, I'm just opposed to tearing down an historical building. There's currently, there's a vacant lot on Main Street right now that used to be a gas station. I always imagine no one wants to buy it because it used to be a gas station. So that's a perfect place to put a Valvoline. Sounds like a much better plan than tearing down an historical building. Sorry.
it just registered historical?
Yeah, but because I mean, you're looking at the screen, what is it, the satellite view, every single house surrounding this is an old historical depot house. And then we're gonna tear down an historical depot house to put up a Valvoline. I mean, as Bill said, that's not why we live in Manchester.
We're not sure if it's on the National Historical Registry, correct?
Get any feedback from the state?
Okay, I did make a phone call and they're supposed to get back to me. A house can be on the State Historical Registry without being on the National Historical Registry. Bill, is that correct or no?
State, somewhere I've got a letter back from the eighties, when the state started their registry, they started on the southern border.
Right.
And it was weak.
Yes.
And as they went through the north, it got better. So they admit there are a lot of omissions. I don't believe it's on the list because they didn't know.
But I do think there's a differential between, if it's on national, it's automatically on state. However, there are certain buildings within the state of Vermont that can have historical designation, depending on other criteria. I'm not an expert, you are, but there is a process to figure out, does this building qualify by the state of Vermont, not by a national register? Is that correct?
I'm sure it could be on the state register.
Okay,
It is.
as far as you know, okay.
It is or isn't on the
That's what
state?
I was at.
I believe it is.
Okay. You know, is even anybody considered a register eligible for either the state or the historical federal?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Is it historic eligible? There's another classification for historic.
Potentially it could be, and I do have a call into someone at the state to find that out. I just don't have an answer yet, so that's something to just consider. Sure, absolutely. Okay,
Before I spoke to Mr. Ferry sitting tonight, right? I had conversations with Peter over there.
okay.
We also did extensive research to make sure this building is not in a historic district at all.
Right, it's not, yeah, it's, yeah.
Building's falling apart. It may be historic in the fact that it was built in 1870, but it's got its problems.
Mm.
That's why I did the research in advance, determined that it can't come down. Otherwise, it wouldn't have wasted everybody's time.
I'm sure we're gonna have more discussion with the DRB. I got a question, what's the current, signage was kind of a key thing when we were going through, is it?
Okay.
It's still wood, either, downlit, is that the current town standard for signage?
Right. Well, I mean, I think before we get that far in advance, I mean, based on what I think we already know, I mean, we probably look to even scale down the size of what they may even be eligible for.
Of what, the sign?
Yeah.
Okay,
So, I mean, but it's premature. Knowing everything here now is preliminary. That's something that we're gonna want to probably look at when we get to it, because you obviously have flush mounted and then you have your pole mounted outside. So, until we see an entire rendering of what's being proposed, I mean, it's tough to say, and that goes the same for the landscape component of this. I mean, it's premature to really look at everything and say that, yes, this is a good fit. When what we have is a rendering of a building. And based on, even on the rendering, there's already questions. Never mind, set aside the historic building that we're talking about, which is probably worth, and as I brought up in the beginning, worth considering what if, is there something that could be done other than hearing it's going to be demolished with the building? I mean, that's just for your own input as you kind of continue the process down the line here. It'd be nice to know that pieces, if not the entire building, can be kind of reused in some format, in some function on this property.
You mean like incorporated into the
Something,
design?
yep, do something where it can be kind of worked into. I mean, and again, this is just me speaking, but I mean, as far
I mean,
as,
the right side where the garage bays are, sorry, the left side where the garage bays are not, I'm assuming that's the office space,
that's right.
Is there a way to turn the current building into that? And then have the bays going off the side of that? That way you can, then the money gets invested in preserving a historical building. It keeps with the character of the depot and you still get your, the garage next to it by no means historical and is an eyesore. So if you tear that down and expand upon that.
Go back to the site plan.
So I'm sorry, you took saying put the gable
Put
end
this-
towards Depot Street?
I'm saying keep the historical building,
Yeah,
turn, and there.
Rotate the buildings, Chris, is that?
Yeah, basically turn this becomes a historical building and then this gets stuck onto the other
yeah,
side of
okay,
it.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Okay. So rotating the building in terms of the site.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Well, hold on, when you say turn the building, you're talking about having the overhead doors face Highland?
No, just
Okay.
having the
Right.
the overhead doors on the opposite left side of
Got
this
it,
building.
yes, yeah, I'm with you. Well, no, I mean,
Yeah, if it gets.
okay.
I think your comment, John, is great. I know it's not, what are we in there right now? Advisory? Okay. So zoning's going to likely say that you have to have your drive-through come out on Highland. Just gonna give you that. And so maybe you can incorporate the existing building and have the bays so they don't have Depot Street facing bays, which I know are for marketing, and have the bays exit on Highland and create an exit lane that dumps the right turn lane out of High Lane, and you've solved that problem. You've solved like 4 problems with zoning, which you're going to hear at 7:30. Just as a recommendation. Because you can't, I'm not the zoning board, but I don't believe you can have 2 curb cuts in town. I know they're existing, but they're going to argue that. And exiting on Highland is where you're going to have to go with the drive-through in town because everyone else has had to do that the last 40 years. And the zoning says that. Might be a recommendation. And you get that right turn lane on Highland to dump the traffic into. Everybody might be happy.
Are there any other questions on design for this building?
Not at this time.
No, I don't think so.
Do you folks have anything further? I mean, knowing this is preliminary, and again, we'll see you again at 7:30, but,
I don't think so.
okay.
Yeah, we gotta get to the DRB, get some feedback there, and then we can view our plan in total and see how we can make it, not everybody happy, but
Right.
more people happy than unhappy. So,
Okay,
thank you very much.
well, thank you, appreciate
Thank you.
that. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Michael Toller, 5446 Main Street. Applicant is requesting installation of a freestanding sign measuring 36 by 48 and a customary home occupation. There you go. Wanna give us an overview, Mr. Toller?
Sure. What I'm asking to do is install a 4-foot wide by 3-foot tall faced sign along the frontage of 7A next to my home at 5446 Main Street.
Where's that? Give me a geographical.
Right next to the visiting nurse building, just south. The new hearing place. But I've been restoring the house since 2017. It's an 1840 house. There was a historic, I think it's a hitching post that was there. And I've basically kind of created a planter around it, and I would like to fashion the sign as part of that planter. It would have presence along Route 7A and give me some advertising for my small business that I'm based out of the office, out of the house. And I did get a use permit with Peter for customary home occupation, so I'm hoping that'll be approved. It's just myself running it. I've been doing land planning, zoning for a little over 25 years as a certified planner, and plan to continue doing that more for local governments and private industry as needed.
The only sign, this is a double-sided, I'm,
Yes, sir. It will be nothing. I probably have just an office sign because there's so many doorways to the home, just to note where people would come in to the
and the
side.
posts, what are those wood, and what's that cap right up top there?
There'd be the acorns that are kind of a part of the motif on the house already. That were original. There's an acorn over the main house that was original to the property. So I'm kind of running off that theme.
And
4x4 posts, wood. The
The sign would be wood as well, painted.
And the,
Poster painted, poster painted as well?
Post, yeah, everything will be white and then
Yeah.
matching the,
Any lighting?
for the area.
Any lighting?
No lighting, so.
Lighting, okay.
I'm good.
any other
I am
questions?
too. No, I think it looks nice.
Make a motion to approve the application as submitted.
Second.
No,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Good luck.
Looks nice.
Next up, Melissa McManus. 483 Depot Street, applicants requesting placing a 4.5 feet by 2.5 feet sign at 135 Depot Street for their in motion business and placing a 3x4 sign at 483 Depot Street for their studio by LX Business. Somebody? Okay, sure. Thank you.
We were here last month to move the current in motion sign over to where the New Balance sign was. So that we've already done. But I did not notice that above, there's a spot there for a sign as well. So I'd like to add one there. It's a little confusing where people are going. So we'll add one there that matches the size of the Le Creuset one. And then we'll replace the in motion sign with the Studio by LX sign. The same size, just different dimensions. It's just square instead of long. But I think the size fits the building. So we'll keep the same size.
The sizing has all been. Yes. And the existing lights are existing, obviously.
We're not doing anything.
Not doing anything.
So we got two signs here.
Two different
Yeah,
locations.
two different locations.
Two different locations.
Yep. The one further up on Depot and then the other one further down.
Yeah.
You know the location?
Well, that's where the Toomey building is.
Yeah.
The sign that's on the Toomey building now is being moved over to where New Balance was, and a new sign is going on the Toomey building.
Yeah. Looks nice.
Make a motion to approve? A second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Next up, the Cottage Toy Company and Candy Shop, 4419 Main Street. Applicant is requesting two signs on the building, one two-sided hanging sign, blade sign measuring 32 by 30 and 32 inches by 30 inches, and one wall-mounted sign measuring 96 inches by 24 inches.
Hi, board. Thank you for hearing me. I'm the new owner of 4919 Main Street. I'm just basically keeping the sizes of the signs that were previous to the owners before me. It's strictly just a white sign with black lettering, a little bit of green. It's got a large side to the building, and I thought the long side on the side would be nice to catch attention coming down Main Street. The sign in the front is a two-sided sign. It is carved and painted. And the bracket is the original. It's the bracket that was on prior. Building is 1920s, so I thought the black and the white would keep in theme. Added just a little bit of green for Vermont.
Kids.
Yep, I'm gonna keep, I bought the inventory as well of the previous owners, so I'm gonna incorporate my toys. So we're keeping the good old stuff. We're keeping the candy and the maple syrup and the fudge. I'm bringing in some ice cream and toys.
Great. And lighting is existing?
Yes.
I'll make a motion
Well,
to.
I have a comment. I would have to say the word souvenirs. I don't want to be looked on as a souvenir town. We've got one sign already that says souvenirs. I mean, personally, I'd rather it say something like Vermont Gifts and Products or something like that.
The souvenir,
I don't want to be known as a souvenir town. That's, like certain towns that have T-shirts and all that kind of.
the souvenirs was on the previous sign, and because I bought the merchandise from them, we do carry souvenirs. We have magnets and keychains, T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, that sort of thing.
Kind of hard to outlaw the word souvenirs.
Well, yeah, I mean, is there any other
Town.
concerns
Well,
about?
it depends on what kind of tourist town.
No, I don't have any other concerns.
Ray, did you have anything else?
Well, I just think, I just I don't know. I just don't, sorry, but the word souvenirs, I don't want to be, we just got out of the outlet phase. And I don't want to be now a souvenir place. No reflection on what you.
No, I understand. I appreciate that, but unfortunately, there are a lot of people that come in for, I don't know what else to call it. I mean, they are souvenirs. They're coming in with things with Vermont on them. They're traveling from all over, coming here, and they want something that says that. And that's a good portion of what I purchased. So, like I said, there's mugs and T-shirts, hoodies, magnets, keychains, things like that,
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Entertain a motion on this?
I'll make
I'll make
a,
oh, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No,
No. 4 yeses and 1 no. Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, is it Butcher? I'm sorry, I can't pronounce.
Archer?
How do you pronounce this? Is it
Archer, I think.
Archer?
I'm trying to figure that out myself. Urtru.
4915 Main Street, applicant is requesting the installation of 3 signs, 1 hanging blade sign measuring 8 inches by 20 inches and 2 wall mounted signs measuring 72 inches by 30 inches and 1 measuring 16 inches by 40 inches. Is there somebody here for that?
Yeah, right. You can be here.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry, how do you pronounce that?
The business.
The business.
Nurture. Nurture, take off
With
the.
you.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Make it easy.
Is it like an outdoor gear store? Is it, what is it?
Yeah, workwear.
I heard that. Yep. Okay.
Are you gonna do retail in there as well? Is it's not just off, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have a small, like 20-foot or so in by the width of the store. Kind of more of a, what we call live slash showroom, but yeah, some retail. It's not gonna be a typical retail, open a lot every single day type of retail. We're basically attracting a national customer. It's, we're gonna test the retail concept of people being able to walk in and or contractors come to buy, but ultimately that's a test run. We're really selling bulk clothing to a national footprint. So it's just.
You're doing a lot of online sales?
Not too much. No, not yet.
I just like to see Main Street have vitality, so it's kind of nice to have, if it was a little retail going.
Yeah.
To give it a little.
Yeah, we'll bring some vitality, definitely.
Then, was probably, the Mountain Goat is right across
Mhm.
from you, so they kind of run together a little bit. I think that might complement each other.
Yeah. Workwear, with a lot of caps, hats, but
Or like Carhartt.
sports line kind of gets released into 26 where it's more of a sweatshirt lifestyle,
Yeah.
sports brand as well.
Yeah.
But, and then to the left, when you walk in, it'll be a what we call media live room, podcast, social selling. We're going to be selling online on live shows. So
There would be some activity there.
pack and ship, shelving out the back too. So.
Do you plan to do some kind of display in the windows?
Mhm.
I'm just thinking about an attractive, let's say Mountain Goat, for example.
Mhm.
They have pretty nice windows.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And now they might play off each other, which is good,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely gonna have show, in the windows. It's gonna be pretty, yeah, we're coming up with ideas. We have a lot of different people working on a lot of different things in that area, but, simple, clean, neat. It's, not gonna have a lot going on, but it's gonna make a statement, whatever we're putting in the window. Yep.
So now in this building, there is a canopy that can roll up.
Yep.
You know, they can.
There's a new one landlord.
To change it, right?
We approved the one to change
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, they have a new one going in.
gray and white.
We'll do some flower boxes by the front door, up on the porch, concrete planters that'll be removable, movable, slidable.
And obviously, all merchandise is inside the building, not out on the stairs for sale.
I'm gonna run sales every weekend out on the street now.
4 or 5 sandwich boards.
That's a good way to get approved.
No,
Any lighting on the sign?
I'd like to get something kind of pointing on the at least a hanging sign. I'll see what the porch lights do to it, but something kind of tasteful, simple on the hanging swinging sign on the two-way sign on the.
Maybe, I mean, Peter, are you comfortable working with him on
We'll have
that?
to work with you on the
Yeah.
specs.
And
Yeah.
Shielded and low key.
Oh, yeah, it'd be very, just the sign itself and
there are specific specifications on the, you
the
know,
lighting of it.
yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, we'll brick by brick, we'll get the signs in and then from there, we'll,
I'm sorry, was there anything discussed on window displays there or?
yeah, we're gonna have, we'll call it, if you think of it this simple, the whole concept is white starch, but with a work jacket looking like a piece of art in the window.
Nice.
That's the best way I can explain the simpleness.
So the window itself is not going to be blocked in any way, so you would still be able to look through the store, is that?
Yeah, I mean, we have some debate that when you see through, you don't dream enough and you see confusion of other stuff in the back. Like I was walking back last night looking in street windows. I feel like you shouldn't really be able to see in. You should be able to only imagine what you're looking at and it should draw you in the store and not get confusion through a bunch of stuff and see a bunch of stuff behind it. But we're also trying to do the displays in the store where it complements it. So listen, if you guys don't want me to close off the view through, but a good merchandise window generally doesn't let you get see-through. You want to be able to see into this boxing cube of what you're looking at more so. I don't know. So I'm not an expert in that.
We'll leave that to you, but
Yeah, I'm tryrying to,
obviously it's
yes.
great frontage.
yeah,
You know.
Nice
absolutely.
activity, it enhances the
Yep.
townscape, I think.
Our idea of any retail being sold, like today, we're designed a muck certified mucking stalls, hat, which is part of this legacy plaid check line that we want to do like a garden tote bag and a special hat line that kind of gets launched around the buzz of the Manchester crowd in July. So we do, even though I'm selling work clothes nationally, we're going to try to like pinhole that towards the person that might be working on the farm or maybe someone that rides horses kind of thinks it's a little bit fashionable.
Is this
to
your
have.
first store?
Huh?
Is this your first store?
Yes. Yeah.
You say nationally, so you've been dealing nationally.
I sell, like I may send 100 or 200 jackets to someone in Chicago, to, companies predominantly. I'm a landscaper by trade, so I know a lot of landscapers. So I'm going after my demographics. I know a lot of the bigger companies across the country. So I go after those guys.
Right.
The sign on the side, is that on the picture?
What's in the handout?
I only got that idea and it's not to say, well, if Mountain Goat did it, I can do it, but Mountain Goat has that Patagonia stamp and I said, boy, that's noticeable. So I'm just trying to
And we're good with
fit that
the
into.
size and the sizing, Pete? And just to be clear, so the lighting you'll work with Pete on?
Yes. When you sit, sorry, I'm getting up the sign guy's name. By the way, he's like Johnny on the spot. What a good.
Is that right?
Told me when to be here. I was number 5 in line.
Is it Frank or Chip?
I guess it's Chip, right?
Yeah.
Pennsylvania guy. That's why we talked.
Pennsylvania, I didn't know.
Yeah. Is it okay, like if we decide not to put the word outfitting and change it to apparel or change it to 2 words under Urcher? How much flexibility do we have with that on that side sign?
I think it's gonna come down to sizing. I mean,
No, if we don't change anything, but if I change the word from outfitting to apparel, are you guys that particular?
Outfitting to apparel, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still rebranding stuff going on that I don't.
don't have a problem.
I don't,
We threw that in for a placeholder.
Yeah.
And then to,
Yeah, I'm good with that, yeah.
okay.
Nice sign.
thank you.
Simple, clean.
Yep.
Somebody want to make a motion on
I'll
this?
make a motion to approve it.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys, good luck.
Okay.
Sorry, how long, what's the turnaround time normally?
It'll be quick.
Just in okay from there, or do we have to wait?
We'll send you something, we'll post a Z. You'll have it within a couple of days.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Next up, Emily Shore, 4776 Main Street, applicant requesting to change the exterior paint color of a building Amber slate by Benjamin Moore and adding exterior ventilation hood to the building cooking results. Okay. Well,
I am Emily Shore. I'm going to be the new tenant of this location. You formerly knew it as New Morning Natural Foods. We are in the process of changing it over to a small 26-seat restaurant. So we're just we're on the docket for next month for the change of use, but we wanted to get the paint color approved. And then I am working with Richard Farley on the signs. They just weren't ready yet for this meeting, and I'll have that for next.
So this is just for the paint color then, is that?
Paint color, and then I didn't know if you needed it, but I sent the specs for the exhaust hood, which there should be a photo of the back or like the side view. It'll be in that back. The hood is going along the back right corner. So it won't be visible from the front of the building, but from the side, you'll see it, but
Is it coming out the sidewall or is it going?
the top, straight out the roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
This existing, or are you illustrating something here?
No, that's existing. That's not altered. Those are the mailboxes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the hood isn't drawn on that. That is just a regular photo. But the hood specs are, like the exhaust hood specs are.
I think it up to the rear,
Sorry?
the hood. You're talking about the exhaust hood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the location on that?
It's basically, so
Oh,
the
yeah.
hood runs along a wall 10 feet inside, but the exhaust will be coming out right here.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And is the whole building the amber slate color? Is there trim that you're gonna be
The
using?
whole building will be amber slate and the shutters will be coming off.
Shutters.
What about the trim, look at the windows. and-
Trim, same color, all same. The door currently is white. We were thinking about doing it more of like a color pop on the door, but I was not finalized on the color. So I'm happy to just do it all amber slate, or I can leave it white for now. If you have any thoughts on it.
Me personally, I would do it amber slate.
Just do it all the same color.
The door's not great to begin with. It's a metal door, isn't it?
It is, and we do want to replace the door at some point. It's not in great condition.
So I think I would blend that door out.
Okay.
Make it slate. That would be my feeling.
And the two gooseneck lights that are up top, are you keeping those or are you in need of those?
She's not applying for any signs right now. She's just doing paint color.
No, I understand.
I am planning to replace them with gooseneck signs. Or
Gooseneck
new fixtures. The two goosenecks and then the two wall sconces as well. They're all in need of replacement.
Okay, and again, maybe you can work with Peter on our final selection there
Yes.
for you and make that investment. And I guess you'll be coming back to us with signage.
Yes, hopefully next month.
What's that? Even the photo, it's kind of dirty. Like, what's that? The foundation or
It's like, yeah, that's all getting power washed.
but is that going to be painted gray or is that?
Yeah, it's just all gonna blend.
Nice. Can I ask what kind of restaurant it is, or you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, because I don't care.
Yeah, sure. My husband, I am the general manager of the Crooked Ram in Manchester Village.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been operating a kind of pop-up restaurant with my husband. It's called Neighborhood Noodle. It's a Japanese restaurant. We've been doing pop-ups there as a commercial caterer. And this would be a brick and mortar location.
Where are they currently? There's another one or no?
No, it's something that we have a commercial catering license currently that we use as the host. The Crooked Ram is the host kitchen, so it's kind of like a pop-up concept.
Crooked Ram's got it going on. I mean, the pastries are amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else?
Any questions?
Recommendation?
I'll make a motion to approve the paint color. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The hood is okay, the vent is okay?
Vent, sorry, yes.
Okay, cool.
The only thing you'll be coming back is gonna be,
Signs
lights
and
for, with
lights.
Peter and
Yep.
for us.
Okay. If my other question was if I guess this is just a question, if we wanted to, that little like like the little in the front where the 4776 is, if we wanted to make that an enclosed vestibule to help with draft coming into the building, is that,
I don't see it as a problem, but we'd like to see some plans. Are you
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
glass?
I
Are you
think so too.
talking just
Yeah.
wood siding? I mean, so.
yeah,
I mean, I don't, but.
I think if it was done to match the rest of the building.
yeah, wouldn't be, yeah.
It's not
Okay.
conditioned space, it's just gonna be.
Building.
Just more of like an air
Right.
gap to like break the fold.
Rest, I understand you needing that for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are some places that use a tasteful material even.
Yes, some, I don't know, like, I would just wonder if you would want it to be more of like a permanent, like structure, like real walls, or there are ones that are kind of
I'd
a
want to,
material,
Yeah, like a white canvas.
like a canvas,
And
yeah,
I would prefer
Yeah.
not to see a white canvas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
material.
like part of the structure.
Part of this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Great, thank you. Good luck.
I think that, wraps up what we've got going on here. Do you have anything for us regarding businesses, old and other?
The finial parquet,
Sorry.
Sorry, is it, Frank had asked me to ask, or make sure I, verify with you guys, is it okay for flat painted? Or do they have to be carved? He gave me two prices. It felt like there was maybe a say from you guys on what you would prefer.
you see flat panels allowed all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I prefer car.
I prefer car too, but
Leaning towards the small one on the street carved, because you act
Okay.
might appreciate that.
Oh, yeah,
But then where it's,
yeah,
it's just get painted flat.
carved is nicer, I mean, but.
I
yeah,
got
that
flat
would be
painted
nice.
just up the street.
Great.
Thank you.
like, noted that on that thing. Carved and-
So
It's
far,
recording it.
front and
in the
then-
minutes.
Oh, yeah, you're still recording, sorry.
Um,
Anything else?
I don't know.
Oh, finial parquet, withdrew all of their applications, so they're not sure what's going on there. I think they're just kind of winding down.
For the outdoor seating and the
Ev-
ice
for
cream
everything, yeah.
service for everything? Okay, okay.
So just really
Just-
looking at, what their plans are.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right, so take them off the list?
Yeah, they're off the list
Okay.
for now.
Yeah, okay,
Um,
all right.
Is there anything else that we need to go through?
I
mean,
just had a
how's-
question about lighting outside of Circa, but I don't know if that's part of this meeting or if that's something we discuss later.
We can discuss it anytime.
Okay, well,
Yeah, let's discuss it.
just somebody brought it to our attention today when we were walking along that there's, I actually took a photo of it, that there's lighting on the exterior that I don't think came before our committee unless I missed something, so.
So-
Out for the window in front of Circa. So there's some lighting that's been added. So I don't know if this is something that you guys were approached about. or-
No, we've not seen
No,
anything
no,
relative
okay.
to that. I
So
mean,
anyway, this is new to me, but it's on the exterior of the building, so not the interior, not the sign above, which has got the gorilla on it. This is,
Oh, all of these lights.
these are,
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
they're
but
actually on the
even in
exterior of the building. So it was new to me and
non-conforming,
I didn't know if it had already been.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing it.
I don't know that we have an ordinance relative to holiday lights or anything like that.
Are they holiday?
Well,
But is there an ordinance pertaining to how long the lights can be up, even if it's holiday?
I don't honestly know the answer.
Okay, and I wasn't
Check
sure.
into it.
I'm
So
just,
I can review that.
just bringing it to our attention because I was not clear if we'd approved something or if it was coming.
No, that was not approved.
Okay,
So
Didn't
we'll
know.
chase it down. I'll give Steve a call.
maybe he was coming down anyway, so,
Is there any conversation we want to have on this beauty?
maybe after we stop the meeting.
I am opposed to tearing down a historical building.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't think it's falling down. I think.
Well, we wanna
every old
close the
building's
meeting?
falling down.
Well, they always.
Close this.
Do we need a motion?
Motion to.
Make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good.
Recording stopped.